So the Commanders are hiring Eric Bieniemy. Think it's a good pickup for them. Rivera and that offense has been atrocious ever since he hasn't had Cam Newton. Um, and there's been talks about Eric Bieniemy really for him to really get a head coaching job. He has to separate himself from Andy Reid. Andy Reid is still well immersed in the play calling with Kansas City. He's a mastermind. I hate to say it, his play calling and their film study is something that they beat. The reason why they beat us in the Super Bowl. But yeah, I mean, I think it's wise. I think it's smart. I think it's a good pickup for Washington. But what does that mean? I think that means that they're going all in on Sam Howell. And I say that because the relationship between Pat Mahomes and Eric Bieniemy was it was a good one, but I think that he really helped Patrick Mahomes develop. And you can tell Patrick Mahomes really isn't too fond of Eric Bieniemy. I felt like Patrick Mahomes is he felt at some point that he didn't need him. He felt that he can do the job. He sees Aaron Rodgers, he sees Tom Brady. And all the quarterbacks kind of like Patrick Mahomes, they get the kind of this arrogant demeanor where they don't need the offensive coordinator coach, and that's a tight relationship. So for Eric Bieniemy to really kind of step up and take that next step, or step up and get a head coaching job, he had to separate himself from Kansas City, because most of the credit goes to, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, right? The superstars. It doesn't really go to him. So I think that's the biggest thing that he has to, separating himself. But I also think that it does mean that they're going to start developing Sam Howell. That is a huge. I talked about offensive coordinators versus defensive coordinators. Offensive coordinators are really siloed in specific areas versus defense, who are kind of pretty much running their team, unless you have a defensive-minded coach. So, for example, New England Patriots, you'll see a lot of old coordinators go through, right? Who's his defensive coordinator? Belichick's is his son. And I think it's who it is right now. But Belichick is with that defense high and low. Defensive coordinator for let's see who it is. I think it's his son. Yeah, I think it's his son. His son is a defensive coordinator. So he probably wanted a mind that thought like him. They got Bill Bryan, Matt Patricia, but you see that there a lot of O linemen offensive coordinator are going through the season, going through the system. Whereas if it's a defensive-minded, offensive-minded coach, his defensive coordinator is going through the system. So what we're seeing, actually his son coaches his linebackers. They don't have a defensive coordinator because it's pretty much Bill Belichick. Yeah, I mean, his son's been coaching for 11 years. He doesn't get a job like Hallis does, and a D coordinator job. His other son's coaching safety, so the Belichick boys are well immersed in. Immersed. I'm looking at the roster. They look just like him as well too. Brian looks just like him. His son Brian looks just like him as well. But what we're seeing is Eric Bieniemy separating himself, and I think that there's going to be a huge focus on developing Sam Howell. I think they're going all in on Sam Howell. I think they want to build around him and what he showed them at the end of the season. Taylor Heinicke's not worried about playing football. He's worried about being a backup quarterback in this league. This is a guy who won a game off a flag penalty and celebrate and talk trash to the other guy. That's soft. I think they're going all in on Sam Howell with this one, and this is also an opportunity for Eric Bieniemy to really show his offensive mind to get him an actual coaching job without being attached to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid.